Hey everybody, welcome to The Commit, episode 12. This week we've got a really great episode. I brought my buddy Josh in to talk to us about some legal matters about starting a company.
But before we hear from Josh, I've got two new online hackathons to tell you about. First is the latest from Nexmo. So if you've checked out their communications APIs, you may know they've run a series of online hackathons. This latest one runs until October 31st, and you can win a GoPro Hero 4 and
Pretty sweet.
A racing quadcopter.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
We need to speak to Brandon about getting one of those.
I don't think we're eligible.
But if Nexmo isn't quite your thing, check out the Adobe Creative SDK Hackathon. Now this is awesome. It's running until November 23rd. There's $20,000 in prizes. And this is a fully featured image editor that actually runs in your browser. So it's got sharing APIs, everything built in. It's really cool. Check it out. I think people are going to do some pretty fun stuff with that one.
Yeah, there's also some cool mobile APIs that tie into it. So desktop, web, mobile, whatever you're working on, cool stuff there.
Awesome. Let's hear from Josh.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm joined today by my buddy Josh Warham, who's the COO and co-founder of AdStruck, an ad tech company here in New York City. He's also an attorney. We're going to be talking about some legal stuff, but it's important that this isn't legal advice that we're giving you. It's just some good things to think about as you're planning on starting your next company. So Josh, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's play out a little scenario. Let's say that you and I just crushed it at a hackathon. We came up with the best project, we won a ton of prizes, and we're really thinking this could have legs. This could be a business. We want to take this forward.
Yeah.
What are the things that we should think about before we start taking people's money?
Right. So two things come to mind immediately. So the first is we've just created something that has rights in it. So there's intellectual property rights in the code that we've just written. And so it's important for us to understand as joint authors that we have co-ownership of the work.
Right, without filing paperwork, without doing anything,
right.
we both have our own rights.
That's exactly right. So the second thing is if we're going to move forward and become a company, even as we start a for-profit association, the law says we're a default partnership, regardless of whether we filed any paperwork or not. So important to remember as a partnership, we have personal liability, and we're also liable for the debts of the company and sharing the profits. So important to remember, maybe what we should do is think about forming a different entity, like a corporation or a limited liability company, to help get rid of some of the personal liability and form the company the way we want to.
Great, that way we're not worried about going personally bankrupt.
That would be helpful.
Okay, cool. So we know that we have personal rights. We know that we, at this point, can share both liability and profits. And we said, okay, cool, this sounds good. We're going to keep going. Now we need to bring in some additional help because I'm not the best developer. So we need to bring some people in.
I think you're pretty good. But if we do want to have some additional help, there's two kinds of people we might think about hiring. One is an independent contractor. So this is not an employee of the company. It's someone that we hire to do work for us, and we'll enter an agreement with them that says the work that they do, we own as the company and not them personally.
Okay.
Another kind of person we may hire as an employee. We'll hire them as an employee of the company. We'll pay employee taxes on them, maybe some benefits. And the same thing applies. The work that they do for the company will be owned by the company and not them personally.
Right, and what if we want to hire an intern?
Sure, so interns are great, and we all love to have them. Important to remember, though, that if they're an unpaid intern, the IRS is going to look at factors like whether it's purely an educational program, whether the internship is for their benefit and not the company's, because if that's not true, then they're going to be subject to minimum wage laws, and it would be important to pay them.
Right, and as an intern, you definitely want to feel valued. You want to know that your work has meaning, and if you're contributing at an employee level, you should be getting compensated.
Exactly.
Cool. So I think that's a great set of tips for folks to think about as they're coming out of the hackathon rush. And if you ever have any more questions, please do consult a lawyer. And thanks so much for joining us, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
So my hack Rome was built in a day at HackNY. It's a really awesome project, Neil, because what it helps you do is find weather, directions, Uber, all that data notifications that you want on your phone, helps you do this using SMS.
So like when you have just a little E on your phone.
Yeah, exactly. So really cool in that, we've all been using our phones in areas where we then dipped out of data coverage. This enables you to kind of keep getting all of that. I think this will also be super useful in other environments, maybe for feature phones, thinking about, countries and environments where people don't have smartphones. Really cool project. Totally encourage you to check it out. Neil, what have you got?
Cool. So I picked the smartest glass, which was built at the Smart Bar Hackathon in Urbana, Illinois. So what is it? It's a 3-layer plastic mug that was built with a series of LEDs on the inside that's powered by an Arduino and a motor. So when you spin the LEDs and you power them up, you can actually create messages or images. I believe the group is actually working on creating animations like GIFs, but
cool.
they didn't quite get that far. So what can you use it for? You can customize your cup, add your name to it, or as the bar owner could, send deals and other information directly to your cup, so it's displayed as you're drinking.
Or even like what you're drinking. So when you go to the bar and you want to refill and it's like busy and super loud, I think that
Yeah,
could
you
be
just
cool.
hold it up and be like, one more of these.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I think the bar is ready for some disruption, so
A lot of disruptions in bars we've been in. It's a cool project. Check it out, everyone. So that's all we've got for this week on The Commit. Thanks for watching. If you're hacking at HackRU this weekend, come and say hi. But if not, wherever you're hacking, happy hacking.
happy hacking, everybody.